Welcome back into LSC Kitchen. Joining us this morning is Carole Murko from Heirloom Meals.
Always so great to be here.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you here, Carole. Thank you so much.
Throw those onions in while we're talking.
Okay, while we're talking. Now, you do have some really cool things that you always make here. Today you're making this Italian dish, which, you know, I can tell you, the crew is already commenting on how good it smells. I can't wait to take a bite.
Well, you know what it is? It's so simple, and because spring is eventually going to get here, I thought I needed to do a spring dish with spring peas.
Key, eventually going to get here.
So this was very much like a very simple peasant-style dish that my mom and my grandmother would, it's like you could whip this up. You could use regular bacon, but this is pancetta, which is Italian bacon.
Right.
You know, it has to have a fancy name, and you know, it all still comes from the pigs.
Yeah.
So, you know. So I sautéed up the pancetta, browned that up. Now we are just sautéing up the chopped onions. Can you toss in the peas?
Sure. How old is this dish, by the way?
Oh gosh, it's probably pretty old. I'd say generations. I mean, because this is, if you go to Italy, I'm sure you will find a dish like this on the menu.
Yeah.
And
but this is your grandmother's recipe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't know my great-grandmother, but, you know, it maybe was from my great-grandmother.
Right, right. So it could be that old.
But look how easy this is. And by the way, back my grandmother and my mom, I had to come up with the recipe for this to come on the show.
Right.
Because this is one of these things that it's a guide, but it's not really, don't stress. If you have 4 cups of peas and you want to use them, use them.
Because they just threw things together is what they did. Yeah.
Because they had the intuition, they had the know-how.
They knew what worked together, yeah.
So I've had the Cavatelli here cooking away, and so what I do is we just throw it in with the peas.
With a little bit of that, you know, water in it too, right? Yeah.
And then, you want to stir that for me?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So, and I like the Cavatelli because it just has a really nice texture. It's a little more tender than regular pasta. And you know, you have to buy, generally you buy the Cavatelli in the frozen section of the supermarket.
I love Cavatelli.
And now we'll put the pancetta back in.
Right on top.
And
you stir it in?
Stir it up. And then I'm going to have you put generous amounts of Parmesan cheese in there.
Generous.
Generous. Like, that's not generous. Come on, I'm Italian.
All right. Is that generous enough?
The whole bowl. I mean, and so what you do is if it starts getting dry, you reserve some of the pasta liquid, and you know, we put it in, and just a little like that, so that it'll make it a little bit more liquidy.
Right.
And then my mom on the way here mentioned that sometimes if you're feeling really indulgent, you could throw a little heavy cream in, and that's not on the recipe, but she said, you know, if you're feeling like you want something to stick to your ribs and you want throw a little heavy cream in. And so then, of course, you always, you know, a little salt and some
and a little pepper. And by the way, your mom is right next to us right now. She's watching all
And I call her
this.
my wing mom because she's just so amazing. And so that's it. I mean,
and that's the dish.
That's dinner. I mean, in like how many minutes was that?
Oh, that's just, you know, what, 5 minutes, 4 minutes? And
as long as it takes to chop your vegetables. So enjoy, and bon, I guess I could say manja as opposed to bon appetit.
Very nice, Carole. Thank you so much.
It's nice, isn't it?
The
Very
recipe's on our website, WNYT.com. Click on the Let's Eat section, WNYT.com. This is so good.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by. Always nice to see you.
And happy spring, eventually.
Happy spring. We'll be right back with your top stories and let's look at your weather. Stay with us.